Hey folks, welcome back to another informational video with yours truly, Sam Healy. Today, we're taking a look at yet another expansion box that is coming out for Massive Darkness from CMON Limited. And this is the Ratlings enemy box. So there are scores, not really scores, but there's a lot of rats in here. And that is one of their main offensive characteristics, is that they come out with a whole lot of them. So that's pretty cool. What this is basically going to be doing is not really a review. I'll be saying what I like and not like about all of this kind of stuff, but for the most part, this is just information for you to have to make a better purchase. That's my main goal here. So let's get down to the table and take a look. And here in the Ratlings box, you first of all have the Ratling Bully. He definitely looks the part here. I'll go ahead and show him to you. I mean, he is just not a very friendly person. You can just tell by the way he looks. He's yelling at people. Look at him. He's yelling at people. He's brandishing weapons. He's not a happy camper at all, but really neat model. Nice detail. Again, that static pose that I'm not very obliged to, but I love the detail. Looks really nice. As far as gameplay is concerned, the Ratling Bully here, he is going to have ×3 hit points. So in a 5-player game, he's got 15 hit points. He's rolling 2 red dice. This is the lesser version of him as well, and for attack. And then he's also rolling 2 blues and a green for defense. His special ability here, it says he spawns with 2 rattling minions, if possible. So if all the Ratlings aren't on the table, he gets 2 that comes with them. Ratling Bully is treated as the boss of this mob, his own little mob, him and the 2 that he spawns with. So you have to kill those 2 minions first before you can get to him, and then those 2 minions have 2 health each. So he's pretty nasty. He comes with some meat shields, basically. The Greater is getting 5 times health points. So in a 5-player game, he's 25 hit points. And then he's rolling 2 red and 2 yellow for melee, and he's getting 2 green and 2 blue for defense. Luckily, his ability here stays the same, so that doesn't get any worse, but all of this down here is bad enough. So, the Ratling Bully, definitely not one to be trifled with. These guys over here are the Ratling Crossbowmen. So, as you can probably tell from their name, they have ranged attack. So, they're not going to get into a whole lot of melee damage, but they do have some melee ability. Here is the Crossbowman boss that comes to come along with this mob. So he's pretty cool. On top of them, this Crossbowman model, that's pretty much the run and fare of this. Pretty neat model. I like it. I like the crossbow that's being over here. You know, most of the time crossbowmen are like, you know, they're pointing at their target or what have you. I like the fact that they're just kind of getting ready to load that weapon and fire. So a pretty cool model. I like it a lot. So that's a good mold for these guys. Now they start off with 2 hit points each. Wow. But they don't roll any defense, so that's pretty cool. They're rolling 1 melee attack for yellow, and then 2 yellow for ranged. Their ability here says, while this mob has over half its starting figures, it gains attack +1 wound. So again, that's pretty nasty. You got to whittle them down before they get a little bit weaker. But without rolling any defense dice, they shouldn't be sticking around too long. But that's level 1. Level 2, they still have that 2 hit point level for each model. They're rolling 2 melee dice, yellow, and then 3 yellow for ranged, and now they do have that 1 blue die for defense. That stays the same, however. And then for level 3, they still keep that 2 hit points per. They're rolling 2 yellows in melee, but then 2 yellows and a red in ranged, and they're getting 2 blue dice for defense now. And then their special ability here gets bumped up a little bit as well. They get +2 while they still have over half of their strength there. In level 4, they're getting 3 hit points per model now. They're rolling 3 blue dice for defense. Then they also get 3 yellows for melee and 3 yellows and a red for ranged. That stays the same, however. Then in level 5, They're getting 4 hit points per model, rolling 1 red and 1 yellow for melee, 2 red and 2 yellow for ranged, and then 2 blue and a green, and then they're getting attack plus 3 if they're over half strength. So, wow, that's really nasty models. Let's get to the other guys that come in this box. And here we have the Ratling Agent and the Ratling Warriors. Now, as you can tell, there's a whole lot of these guys that are here, which means that there's going to be a lot of them on the board. So, at level 1, we'll get to these a little bit later. Level 1, they're only going to have 1 per character. But on level 2, there's 2 per character. So in a 5-player game, 10 of these guys come out if they show up, and so forth and so on for levels 3, 4, and 5 as well. The Ratling Agent here, we'll go ahead and show you his model first. He's really cool. I love the idea of dual-wielding swords for these rats. I really enjoy that a lot. I don't know what it is, but it just looks cool to me. Having 2 swords, 1 in each hand. Really like that. His ability here is pretty nasty. In a 5-player game, he's going to have 25 hit points. He's going to be rolling 2 yellows and 2 reds for attack. And then he's going to be getting 2 blues and a green die for defense. His special ability here says, at the end of the enemy's phase, spawn a guard on the level token of this tile. So, as you can probably tell here, this is all about numbers and having a lot of models on the thing. So, that's a pretty cool thing as well. I like the fact that you can have enemies that are swarming and they're difficult to take care of. It adds a level of pretty decent difficulty to the game. I like that. So that's... now, he is a level 5 agent, though, so he's not coming out until the very end of the game, probably, or the very end of the dungeon. Here is the Warrior's boss. He's pretty neat. He's got these 2 maces that are just nasty looking. I don't know what this is on his head, though. Maybe it's like another blade and he can kind of spear you or something. I don't know. I don't know what the thought process behind that design was, but it looks kind of cool, like a rat unicorn or something like that. I don't know. Maybe he's a hybrid. Your guess is as good as mine. Pretty cool model, though, for a boss. The other guys here, I like the fact they have shields, and those swords look really cool, too. Just really like it. That guy has a little horn on his head, too. Wow. All right. I wonder what's been going on Dr. Moreau's Island. Anyway, really cool model. I like that defensive posture that they're about to go into battle. Whatever. It's kind of static. You know what I mean. You know how I feel about that. But I like the model a lot. A lot of cool detail. Great looking design there. Now, as far as gameplay is concerned, they start off pretty weak. They're starting off with only 1 hit point each. They are rolling 1 red die, though, for attack and 1 blue die for defense, and they are slippery, which means that they can leave your zone without that extra attack and without being penalized for it, rather. Sorry. So that's pretty nasty, but again, level 1 is level 1. They're pretty simple. Over here at level 2, now they have 2 hit points each, and 2 per player are coming out. So it kind of ramps up from 1 to 2 pretty easily. And then here it says 1 yellow and 1 red for attack, still just 1 blue for defense. Level 3 here still have 2 hit points per. They're still getting double. Over here, rolling 1 blue and 1 green for defense, and now they're rolling 2 red dice. Well, that's pretty substantial. Over here, 2 red dice, 1 yellow for attack, 2 blue and 1 green for defense, and everything else pretty much stays the same. And then up here on level 5, goodness gracious, 3 red dice. 3 hit points per person, and they are doubling up each character, so it's 2 to 1. Here, they're getting 3 blue dice and 1 blue and 1 green for defense. So level 5 Ratling Warriors are not something to be trifled with. So let's get back up top. So that's that for the Ratling's enemy box. Now, I have to say so far, of the 3 that I'm doing this week, this is probably my least favorite. I was never really a big fan of rat characters, I guess you could say, in games as monsters and stuff like that. They were usually just annoyances. I know these aren't really annoyances. They're pretty strong, especially in the upper levels, but I don't know. That's just what I think usually, and I'm not a fan of them. So maybe you are. Maybe what you saw is like got you all pumped and ready to go out and purchase it. Maybe that's the case. Maybe not. But at the end of the day, at least you know what exactly comes in this box. So that's my goal here. I guess job done? I don't know. We'll see you guys on the flip side.